Hello, everyone. I just wanted to get on here really quickly um, to help somebody. So basically, I wanted to share with you my journey dealing with UC. UC is ulcerative colitis. And if you've never heard of that before, it's just basically kind of like your body attacking your colon. And it creates these ulcers on your colon, which in turn cause a lot of bleeding, a lot of pain. You go to the bathroom very frequently, and you can't keep any food in. You can become anemic from just how much blood you're losing through the colon. It is an absolute nightmare. Okay, and I just wanted to share what has truly worked for me. And if there's anybody dealing with UC, ulcerative colitis, or Crohn's, that this information can help, that's why I'm here to share. So basically, I was diagnosed with UC in 2015. I want to say I was probably 26 at the time, and I had no idea. Like, I had never heard of this before. I'm like, what is this? So spent about a week in the hospital, and I hadn't had any symptoms after I kind of healed and was on steroids for a period of time. Hadn't had any of the symptoms until 2019. And what I think exasperated that was I was having a lot of dental work done, and I was taking a lot of antibiotics and painkillers with that, and I think that kind of like took the integrity out of everything. And you know, antibiotics can truly disrupt your whole gut microbiome and kills all the good and the bad bacteria, and I just think it just took the integrity out of everything, and just I started having flares more frequently. So that time, I want to say that was in September, late July, early September of 2019, and I was in the hospital for 8 days that time. And just regular steroids wasn't working. They ended up giving me some through the IV, and that kind of got me together enough for me to go home to heal on my own. Then we go to the next year. No symptoms up until, I want to say, late June 2020, after we opened up, the salons opened back up after the pandemic. I just think the stress of dealing with everything, it just flared it, because it can be triggered by stress. And here I was in the hospital for 10 days. And at that point, they were like, hey, you know, what we're giving you is not working. We think you need something stronger. And they were trying to put me on this medicine that I had to basically do for the rest of my life. And I was against it, but, you know, they were like, you know, I feel like they bullied me. Like, it's either you do this, or we come up here and have the surgeons talk to you about surgery and what basically it looks like having your colon taken out. And I'm just like, what? So, I ended up doing infusions, and they were called infliximab. Some people might be doing Remicade. And basically, I was supposed to go to the hospital, get hooked up to IV, and have them pump this medicine through me. And it took about maybe 2 hours, maybe a little less, once I started doing it more, every 8 weeks for the rest of my life to control the symptoms of UC. And I'm like, are you serious? And I felt like it wasn't even working. So I did that for a while, and then that was late June, early July. Got out the hospital after that 10 days, was doing the infusions. I ran into another flare that late October, early November. That time I didn't go to the hospital. I just stuck it out at home, tried to work as much as I could, and I was absolutely miserable, suffering through that. And, you know, had to have another colonoscopy, because at this point, the doctor's like, are you sure they diagnosed you right? This is not something else. No, so we did a colonoscopy. He's like, yeah, this is UC, but, you know, let's, you know, give you this and give you that. Are you still going to infusions? And I'm like, yes, but it's not working, you know? So got past that, got over that. Then here we are last year, 2020, late August, early September. Here I am going through another flare. So this is happening more and more frequently. And when this happens, and like, this is very graphic, but I just have to let you know what some people go through. And some people don't. I don't even have it as bad as some people. Going through a flare, you go into the bathroom 10 plus times, 10, 15, 20 times a day. How can I go to work as a hairstylist going to the bathroom 10, 15, 20 times per day, not being able to keep anything in, any nutrients in my body, any food that I'm just eating? And then what's coming out is not even solid. It's just liquid and blood. I'm losing blood every time. And the pain when it's coming on that you have to use the bathroom is the most terrible pain. It will knock you off your feet. Knock you straight off of your feet. There's nausea that comes with that. That's absolutely horrible. And it's just like, how can I live? How can anybody go to work dealing with this? I have no choice but to be at home. And then it gets to a point where you can't even make it to the bathroom anymore. It gets so urgent. It'll be like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom, let me go. No, it's no let me go. As soon as you have that thought, like, oh, that feeling, I gotta go, it's happening right then and there, and there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't even walk to go to the bathroom. It just happens. So here I am, 33 years old, wearing Depends for this period of time because I can't make it to the bathroom. It's like it's impossible. And if I am going to try to make it to the bathroom, it's then happened already and it's running down my leg. What am I going to do with that at work? In between my clients while they're under the steamer and under the dryer drying their hair. And trying to keep a straight face and trying to be strong and act like nothing is going on. So I just got to the point where I had stopped the infusions because it wasn't working. I got to the point and I just remember being at home like, God, why me? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? What is it that I'm missing? What am I missing here? You can't tell me that I have to walk around for the rest of my life dealing with flares like this and just my quality of life is like this. Like, what is it that I have to do? What is it that you want me to see? I really just said that out loud, just prayed that, like, God, what is it? What do you want? So, I remember that night I said that I was watching videos like on YouTube, like these TED Talks about people who were dealing with Crohn's and colitis and stuff like that, and what they were doing to, as far as dealing with it and what symptoms and stuff like that. And I ran across this one doctor who gave like this TED Talk, who's overseas, I think in England. And he basically had this situation where his son had fallen ill, and I want to say maybe he was a toddler at the time, and he had no idea why. And they took him to the hospital, rushed him to the hospital. He was just really unresponsive. And it turned out it was like a deficiency of like some calcium or just some mineral, just something very simple. And he felt some type of way, like, here I am, a medical doctor, and I didn't even know this. So he was like, I started digging into how the body works and deficiencies and diets and how we're supposed to eat. He said, before you knew it, I started healing my patients. And, I was, healing people who had, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and all this. It was like linked to diet. So I'm like, this is interesting. I'll look more up on him later. But I just remember getting in the bed and I started Googling like treatment for colitis, treatment here, different diets, different remedies, home remedies, natural remedies. And I came across this one site, and it was called waterclinic.com. And basically it was a Korean integrated medicine doctor based in Canada, in Saskatchewan, Moose Jaw, Canada. And I'm like, on the site it said that he had been curing colitis since 2007. And I'm like, what? Curing? So I'm like, come on now, this is too good to be true. And how come out of all these years I've been looking for stuff, Like, I don't recall ever seeing this site at all. So I looked over the site and I basically looked at his protocol for it and the basis of him saying why it was happening. You know, he basically says that a lot of Western medicine looks at just treating your colon. Like, okay, this is going on with your colon, let's treat that. But that's not the cause. Something else is the cause. And then if we fix that, in turn, that heals everything else. So I was like, okay, this is an interesting take on this. I've never heard this. Because a lot of doctors will give you, you know, enema, suppositories, you know, to do anally to kind of get to your colon, and do scopes to see your colon, and take things to coat it. And he was basically like, that's not the answer. So I'm like, this is really interesting. So I looked at a bunch of testimonials on his site, looked at his protocol, and I'm just like, what do I have to lose? What do I possibly have to lose? So I remember emailing him, and he just basically wanted to know your whole journey, you know, dealing with it. And he said the best time to start is if you weren't on any biologic drugs, which would be like the infusions, the infliximab, the Humira, the Remicade. I wasn't. Or any steroids or anything like that. And I wasn't. Mesalamine too. None of that. So I'm like, okay. So he basically was just like, okay, yes, you're experiencing this, but once you take this, you'll heal. Like, people usually see symptoms disappear within a month, but the treatment is 4 months, and you should be good after that. And I'm just sitting here still thinking, like, this is too good to be true. But I didn't doubt it, because I'm like, I have nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let me go ahead and try this out. So, and he asked for a copy of like my blood work. So I had just been to the doctor. So when I got that blood work through email, I sent that over to him. And next thing you know, and it's all, he said it was all herbal medicine that he's basically been working on for 16, 17 years, trying to get this protocol and formula right for UC and Crohn's patients. He overnighted me the medicine. It did take a little bit longer since it was coming from Canada. I had to go through customs and all of that. And I started taking this medicine, and within a week, I seen the results in my symptoms minimizing. Mind you, I'm going to repeat it. Like I said, I could not make it to the bathroom. And I am at work, okay? I had to wear Depends because I could not make it to the bathroom. I was using the bathroom on myself every day. And once again, this was nothing solid. It was all liquid, mucus, and blood. Like I said, I know this is graphic, but I just want to lay it out there for you. Going to the bathroom 10 plus times a day, terrible pain, nausea, not being able to eat. Like, when I say terrible, I was on my way to just closing my book down. I was trying my best to take the clients that I could take. I was spacing them out as best I could. You know, maybe doing 2 or 3 people a day, because I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it. My body was shutting down. And here I am. The symptoms were just disappearing. I could feel a noticeable difference. So first, all the blood stopped. I want to say at the end of the week, the blood had stopped. I see no more blood. Then I want to say the urgency was beginning to stop. And then by the 3rd week, my stools were back solid. There is nothing that I have ever taken, me being in the hospital for 10 days, steroids, infliximab infusions, nothing I have ever taken that worked this fast. And I wasn't even taking all of the supplements from the protocol. For a couple of months, he only had gave me directions to take 2 different ones, and I hadn't even started taking the other ones yet. It was absolutely amazing. It's like I got my life back. I got my sanity back. I got my health back. So I'm here to share. I'm going to post his information below. If you have any questions about, asking me what I've been through and my journey with it, feel free to reach out. inbox me. I will leave his information in his site below and his Facebook page, and he also has a gut health healing group that I'll post. But I cannot even begin to tell you about this man and his protocol with dealing with UC, Crohn's, and other autoimmune issues that he is working on. And basically he explains it as it all coming down to immunity. He was like, we're not treating anything that is basically going on with your colon. We're not focusing on that. We're treating your immunity, and in turn your immunity is healing your body. And when I say it worked fast, I seen like instant results. It worked fast. Okay? So from going to the point of me having to almost just sit a month out from work, it's handicapping. Can you just imagine? Scared to leave the house. I'm scared to drive to work, because if it's coming on, it's no holding it. It just has to happen. It has to happen. And I could be out and about and this happens. I've been in Target thinking I'm feeling good, during a certain flare, and I have to use the bathroom, don't even make it. And I'm in Target. I'm at work, clients under the dryer. I'm in the hallway, running to the bathroom, but using it on myself on my way down the hallway. It's been times where the pain and that urgency has been so great that I've actually just had to real fast in the back, whip out a trash can. Because I'm not going to make it, and this is going to be a disaster. Like, that is what I have been dealing with symptoms of UC. And it's like, I don't even like saying that, like, I have UC. I just say I'm dealing with symptoms of it. I don't even like to claim it. I don't even like to talk about it. But if I can help anybody who is dealing with anything like this, with gut issues, I am here to share this information and to tell you that it works. I recently posted in another gut health program that I had been in, and they're pushing this one thing, and I posted, and they ended up deleting my post, but a few people seen that post, and those few people who seen that post actually reached out to me, and I praise God that they did. And they wanted to talk to me, because people want answers. People want healing. They're seeking healing. And they reached out to me. I mean, people from all over the world. Germany have reached out. People from, other states have reached out just to ask me, like, is this true? And I'm like, yes, it's true. And believe me, I know it seems hard to believe, but I'm just telling you, it works. It truly works. And I'm just here to share the information. And I asked God for an answer, and I feel like this was my answer. So I will share all of his information below. Once again, if you want to reach out to me, inbox me. If you want to FaceTime, if you want to chit chat on the phone, I'm here. And write him on Facebook, email him, reach out. That's what I came on here to share. So I hope I can help. Yeah. Thank you for listening.